Let's bring it. I see a veteran up in here, man. MJ. Let's bring in my good friend, man. How you doing, brother? I know you got a lot to say about scam. I know you
What
got
up,
a lot to
man?
say.
That's his name, dog, and scam. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, bro. I hate to
Yeah.
tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Dan.
Tell me, bro.
As a Laker, you guys gotta stop thinking of mediocre. The dude, now you already got on one channel, they say the players are trash on his one channel. He's talking about you right now, the locker room. He said all the players are trash.
There's literally channels dedicated to low basketball IQ that just like to shred guys like Austin Reeves. I never knew until somebody pointed me in that direction. I couldn't even watch 5 seconds of it, bro. I lost brain cells just being there. There's some real Bron Glazers that just like to hate on everybody not named LeBron, and they're looking really silly right now because they like to talk trash about me for giving Austin Reeves his obvious due props. Another 30 piece. What you got to say now, clown? So it's like they always got something to say, man. Get the clowns off of my TV. Listen, I will never go back on that channel, not even for 5 seconds.
Ticket TV, he calls LeBron James fans jockstrap sniffers. So this is for you guys. If you're watching, shout out to all the LeBron James jockstrap sniffers. This is for you.
LeBron fans.
Of all of the people that we talk about, LeBron fans are the only ones that even message me and contact me on Instagram. One recently sent me a death threat, talking about you can't come to LA. LeBron fans.
I just wanna slide on through, provide for you. Your name a list of things that I can do.
Please don't tell me that was you saying the 96 Sonics. This is what you got to realize, Judah. It's very easy to out-debate locker room. It's not very challenging whatsoever. The fact that you let locker room outwit you and out-debate you, it says a lot. We're not talking about a very high-level basketball mind, and you got outwitted by the locker room.
I don't give a fuck about you or your weak crew. What you gonna do when Big Papa come for you?
But I will say one thing. Look at Luka right here. It's okay, Luka, to move your feet a little bit over and help out. So what does he do? He just throws up his hand. See, this would be frustrating for me.
Especially from one of your leaders on this team, an all-star. More than that. One of the superstars in the league.
And I love Luka. He's great for our game. The leading vote getter in the early results right now, right? But you've got to be better defensively. I mean, that's the Lakers season right
there. And much has been talked about their defensive woes, and we saw it on Christmas Day as well. JJ Redick, love the energy.
Look at this play right here. Look at Luka right here. I mean, he doesn't even move one step. Make him throw the ball to Javonte Green and knock down a three.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Once weekly Ozempic can help.
It's my turn! You told me it was my turn!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, folks. We are back, man. We got to get into it, man. Happy New Year to everybody. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. But we got to, listen, we got to keep the show rolling, man. Just because it's a new year doesn't mean much is going to change over here in Laker land, folks. I mean, we're still discussing Austin Reeves in the year 2026. I mean, this is honestly a little bit insane if you ask me. But this is the state of the Los Angeles Lakers, folks. Right? We still have Luka on the roster. So yeah, man, it's just a wild situation what's going on in Lakerland. I told you guys, I really don't care. If it wasn't for you guys, honestly, I probably wouldn't watch most of the games. When they play a good team, I might tune in, but on nights that they playing bottom feeder teams, I probably wouldn't even tune into the game if it wasn't for y'all. The only reason why I watch this nonsense is because my GOAT and because of you guys. You know, if it wasn't for y'all and my GOAT, I would have no interest in this entire situation at all. It's just completely, it's a joke. And the NBA, they just released, let me show you guys actually. They just put out their MVP ladder today. And yeah, I can't take the list seriously, folks. This is what I said on social media not too long ago, about 20 minutes ago. So yeah, the NBA.com, they just put their MVP ladder up here. As you guys can see, they got Nikola at number 1, SGA at number 2, and then they have Luka Doncic at number 3 over Jalen Brunson, Wembanyama, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, who's been balling. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Jaylen Brown. He's been playing out of his mind, folks. I believe the Celtics just won last night against Sacramento on the road. So Jaylen Brown's been balling. I think he had like a 30-point game or close to it, if I'm not mistaken. So there's no way that Luka's daddy is not higher than Luka Doncic on the MVP ladder, folks. It's just laughable. So I said this, I was like, I can no longer take this list seriously if Luka's on it. You know, this is not a serious list anymore to me. This is not a serious list anymore, folks. All these players I would take right now over Luka. Luka shouldn't even be on the list, honestly. I'm taking Sengun, Maxey. Did you guys see what Maxey did last night in Dallas? Maxey had a game last night. Obviously, I'm taking Ant, JB. We all just saw what Cade Cunningham did to Luka the last time the Lakers played the Pistons. We all saw what he did. So to me, like I said, I can't take this list seriously if Luka Doncic is on it. This is a fraudulent list, man. This is a fraudulent list. There's no way Luka's better than any of these guys. I would take any of these guys over Luka. He shouldn't even be on the list. Somebody in the chat said Kawhi should be higher than Luka at this point. I saw Kawhi last night. Shout out to Y. Y came through for me last night. Yeah, Kawhi's a better player when healthy, you know? So that's what we're here to discuss, folks, is this nonsense going on. Shout out to Mr. Player Made. He sent me a clip, folks, of Robert Horry. He was going off on Luka Doncic and the Lakers yesterday. So that's really what we want to get into today, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in, man. Shout out to Eric. He said the fact that he's top 3 is laughable. You said without Luka, Lakers would be horrible. Trash juice. Okay. And what are we with him? What are we with Luka? I'm asking. Do you need a minute or what? I'm asking you a question. You said we would be horrible trash juice without him. What are we with him? Okay, maybe he needs a minute, chat. We'll just give him a minute. Shout out to King J. Maybe we'll just give him a minute, chat. Let him ask Chat GPT. Maybe that's what he was taking so long for. Maybe he had to go ask Chat GPT for his answer. I don't know. Shout out to Angelito. What's going on, man? We got Ashmere. We got Manuel. You say Cooper Flag is better than Luka and only in his first year. Exactly. It's insane the stuff that these dudes come up with, man. Shout out to SP. Shout out to Constellar. These people are insane, man. Shout out to LA Ballin'. What's going on, man? He said he already stopped watching this season. We got Champion. You said I'm a Suns fan and have been saying the same stuff about Luka. Exactly. Shout out to T-Mac. He said get the likes up. Shout out to Craig. What's going on, man? Happy New Year, man. We got Terrell. He said some good games tonight. Shout out to Steph Curry. One Black Panther. What's going on, man? We got Samoa Saunders. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to the Bahamas in the building. Shout out to JJ. He said, I'm starting to see more people notice Luka's flawed play style, but people came over here and called it racism. Well, I mean, that's all a part of the Luka donkey cycle. Shout out to BKNY. Happy New Year, man. Appreciate you. I mean, JJ, that's part of the Luka donkey cycle. You know? That's what they do. You know, they mention, you know, his 5 first-team All-NBAs. And then when you're not impressed by that, they then, you know, start talking about playoff series from 2 years ago. And when that doesn't work, their last resort is to just call you a racist. That's just typically how it goes. It's pretty insane. The Luka fanboy cycle. Okay, what's going on? What's going on, my guy? Shout out to DM Cuts. You said Luka needs to be traded. He has an old man body that's already breaking down. You know what's funny, DM Cuts? I saw somebody in my comments say, let me show you guys this actually. So yesterday I was, you know, pondering my thoughts. And I took to my my YouTube channel and I had this to say on the community tab. So I said yesterday, 22 hours ago, I said the worst thing that happened wasn't Luka getting traded. It was him getting traded to the Lakers and playing with LeBron James. Every game is basically the playoffs, and you get everybody's best shot. This is why LeBron is the GOAT. Look at how quickly Luka is getting exposed playing for the Lakers when the expectation is to win. In Dallas, nobody cared if he won or lost. In LA, a championship is the expectation, right? So a lot of people came in the comment section. I want to show you guys what somebody said. I thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, Scooby Fish. Look at this comment, folks, by Scooby Fish 14 hours ago. He said, Coach Redick is running out of intelligent post-game comments. Luka is limping around during every game. He can't play defense, and Lakers opponents are winning in blowout fashion. Now Limpy Reeves is out 6 weeks. Not good news for LeBron's support group. Actually, I don't even know if that was the comment I saw. Give me 1 second. I could have sworn it was another comment I seen. But that might have been the comment. I don't know. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, Scooby Fish. So somebody else commented, some casual. Let me show you guys this comment. So some casual said the Lakers were playing better when LeBron was out. Doesn't that mean LeBron is getting exposed? LeBron has a negative plus-minus on the season. So Scooby came in and he said Reeves and Luka were foul baiting and taking dives, getting 20 free throws a night. Now all those falls took their toll. Reeves is hurt. Reeves hurt his leg and Luka limps after every play. So it got me thinking when I saw this comment last night, DM Cuts. It got me thinking about Luka and Reeves. Because you said Luka needs to be traded. He has an old man body that's already breaking down. So like Scooby said last night in the comment section, folks, is the foul baiting, is that taking a toll on Luka and Reeves' bodies? Is all of the dancing for dollars? Is all of the stripping taking a toll on them? I don't know. It might be. I thought that was a pretty interesting point that I didn't think about. Is all of the flopping and because we saw it in the game against the Pistons, right? Luka's flopping, he's falling to the ground, he's acting like he's getting hit when he's not getting hit, he's just soft. So is all of that taking a toll on his body? I don't know. Now, me personally, I don't think he has the body to hold up as a number one option in the NBA. I don't think he does. I don't think he has the body type to hold up in today's NBA. Me personally, right? Luka sucks. So let's just move on, man. Let's get to these comments by Robert Horry. Okay. Now, Robert Horry, folks, Lakers legend. He had some interesting comments about fat ass Luka. Now, before we play Robert Horry's comments, folks, I want to play you guys some comments from Jerry West back when LeBron James was about 24 years old. So this was about 2009. LeBron had just won an MVP, his first MVP, and Lakers legend Jerry West, the guy who brought Kobe Bryant to Los Angeles, and at the time, I believe Kobe Bryant had 4 championships. Take a listen to what Jerry West had to say about LeBron James back in 2009. Remember, LeBron had not won a championship yet, and he only had 1 MVP. This is what Jerry West, Lakers legend, this is what he had to say about LeBron James.
LA Lakers legend Jerry West traded for Kobe Bryant in 1996 when he ran the team's basketball operation. And our own Scott Soshnick talked to West and asked, well, if he had to start a team now, who would he pick first?
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's LeBron James. He plays like he's a wild card player. He could play 4 positions if you ask him to do so. And his ability to get everyone involved in the game is just remarkable for someone his age. I also think that if you look at basketball today, it's not always the big guys who win for you. It's the intermediate-sized guys. LeBron James is a big guy. I mean, he's 6'8", 260, incredible skill, great. I don't know if there's a better athlete that I've ever seen play professional basketball. I just think LeBron James has got so much charisma. He will attract people because of his greatness, but more importantly, he's an incredible teammate. And he's just so skilled. I think he has a chance to go down and be the greatest player to ever play the game.
Let me broaden it out and ask you, of all the players available, if you were starting a team today, and that includes the veterans, would you take LeBron James #1?
Oh, absolutely. There would be no question in my mind.
What's the difference between him and, let's say, a Kobe Bryant, who has established himself as a champion and an MVP?
Well, Kobe, again, you're talking about players playing right now. You look at the age factor, and, you know, Kobe is not a young man age-wise, but and is still an incredible player. And I'm very partial to him because I was responsible for bringing him to the Lakers. But LeBron James, to me, has surpassed everyone in the game today. And obviously, I don't like to say that because I love Kobe Bryant, love what he has contributed to the game, and more importantly, to the Laker organization, which obviously I'm still pull for and hope that they win. But I do think he's surpassed them all at this point in time, LeBron James I'm talking about.
LeBron fans.
Got me on a late night mission, pulling up.
Okay, shout out to DM Cuts with the $2 super chat. Folks, that was Jerry West back in 2009. You know, LeBron James didn't even have a ring at that point. He had just won his first MVP when Jerry West made those comments. So this was LeBron James at 24, right? Jerry West, the logo, the guy who brought Kobe Bryant to Los Angeles, traded for Kobe Bryant on draft night. This is what he had to say about LeBron James when LeBron James was 24 back in 2009. Now, real quick, folks, for context, this is how old Luka Doncic is, okay? This is how old Luka Doncic is. He's going on 27 next month, all right? So, once again, you know, people like to get on the internet and they like to say all kinds of crazy shit. Oh, Luka's better than LeBron was at this age. Like, stop, okay? Like, seriously, let's just stop. He's nowhere close to LeBron. LeBron was better than Luka at 24 than Luka is at 27. I mean, let's just keep it a buck, right? So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there just to kind of give you guys some context. Now, let's get into these comments by Robert Horry, folks. Now, if you guys don't know, Robert Horry, he calls games for the Lakers. Actually, no, he doesn't. He's just an analyst on Spectrum Sportsnet, which is the channel that, the local channel in LA where they broadcast Laker games. So after the games, he'll give his comments on the team and things of that nature, folks. So he went on, who is this old white guy? What is this dude's name? I forget his name. I think his name's Dan Patrick. Yeah, Dan Patrick, I think his name is. So yeah, he went on Dan Patrick's show and he went off on JJ Redick and Luka Doncic, folks. I want you guys to listen to what he had to say.
What would you do if you're the Lakers in the offseason? What's the one thing that has to happen?
Of course they got to get some size. I think that's the biggest key. They got to get some size, and then they got to get some people behind that bench to grab JJ and say, "Yo, this ain't working." And I think a lot of times we look at the head coach and we blame him for some things, and we blame the players for things. But I always blame the assistant coaches, because assistant coaches need to have the coach's ear, and they see things that the head coach don't see sometimes, and like, "Yo, this ain't working. We need to do this and that." And I think that's the main key. I love the coaching staff that they have, but is JJ willing to, listen to his staff and trust his staff? Because sometimes when you come in as a new coach, you say, "Oh, I got to do it my way. I got to do it this way because I'm the head coach. I need to do this." And I think sometimes it takes a village, instead of, a guy saying, "Oh, I need to do this way because my head is on the line."
Yeah, but how should Luka take that? Hey, you're fat, you're overweight. And people now say this openly, as opposed to maybe somebody said it to him privately. And I don't know him, but I don't know what would motivate him, because it feels like people are embarrassing him by saying this.
Yeah, and it's so weird that people talk about his weight, but yet he's still giving people 30 points. I tell people, I don't care about his weight. You need to get him in a gym and teach him how to play defense. That's the thing, because you can give someone 40 points, but if you're giving up 35 on the other end, those 40 points don't mean anything.
Wait, you think that you could make Luka a good defensive player?
Yes, you can, because it's about wanting to. He's never had to, because he's always had people behind him to erase his mistakes. You think about now, there was no AD, no center, nobody erased his mistakes. In LA, he getting blown by. They're getting layups.
Yeah.
If you watch stretches of games where Luka just stayed in front because he's a big body, the defenders, the offensive players are bouncing off him. You just stay in front, and I think that is the key. And I think also he needs to want to play defense, because so many times he saves his energy for the offensive end. I tell people all the time, if you can move your feet and get past and blow by people, that means you have some fast twitch muscles. You can move pretty fast. So there's no reason you cannot play better defense on the other end. It's just, you just gotta want to. And I think a lot of times he doesn't want to. He'd rather just point.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes zone? Once weekly Ozempic can help.
It's my turn! You told me it was my turn!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys just heard what Lakers legend Robert Horry had to say about Luka Doncic. Shout out to Top Fly High. What's going on, man? Now, he had a couple of interesting points, folks. He talked about the coaching staff. He said that the coaching staff needs to do a better job of assisting JJ Redick. I agree with that, obviously. I think our coaching staff is laughable. Nate McMillan, Scott Brooks. These guys they're bums. They got fired everywhere they were at. Nate McMillan, he got fired in, I believe, Indiana. I think he got fired in Atlanta. Scott Brooks, same thing. Gets fired in OKC, fired in Washington. So these guys, they're decent, right? They're okay. They're not great coaches. They're just okay. Then you have JJ, the podcaster. He's the one leading them. He's their head coach. It's just a clown show, right? It really is. It's a clown show. And then he got to talking about, Luka's fat ass, pretty much saying that, listen, the dude plays no defense, right? And these are things that we've been talking about, folks, because all the fanboys want to do is, they just want to hype up like his stat padding numbers. But once again, this is a two-way sport. This is not the NFL, right? If this was the NFL, Luka could play quarterback and then he could go sit on the bench for defense. No, this is the NBA, right? This is a two-way sport. You have to play both sides of the ball. You have to play offense and then you have to go play defense. Luka, he plays one side of the ball. So because of that fact, folks, like, we're just not ever going to be a good team if he's going to be our best player. This is why I don't understand, shout out to 444, when I tune into the mayonnaise media and they're not discussing these things. You know, I don't understand this. Like, it's 2026 now. Like, why are we still having, like, cookie cutter BS conversations about the Lakers? Like, when are people going to, like, start actually telling the truth? How can you think you're going to win when your best player is a one-way player that plays one side of the ball? I mean, I just don't understand how people think you can win like that. Let me play you guys what Brian Windhorst, because he went off on Luka Doncic, folks, during the finals a couple years ago. Now, yeah, let me just run this clip.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect that Luka fell onto the ground there in an unacceptable position to put himself in with 4 minutes left with 5 fouls, and then immediately looks at the bench and says, "You better bleeping challenge it," as if it's the bench's fault that he just made a terrible play. I'm standing here in the Mavericks tunnel. Over there is the Celtics tunnel. That's where the winners are. If Luka's ever going to be a winner coming out of this tunnel here, he is going to have to use what's happened in this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. The Celtics are attacking him. They are ahead in this series because they have attacked him defensively. And you've got a situation here where Luka is complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet. So maybe over the summer, somebody will get to him because nobody with the Mavericks or anybody else in his life has. And that's where the Mavericks are at this point. They're never going to get to this tunnel with the trophy if he doesn't improve those aspects of his game.
Looking to get back in your type 2 diabetes
It's
zone?
my turn!
Once weekly Ozempic
You
can
told
help.
me it was my turn!
Okay, shout out to Champy. You said actually Luka plays half of one side. Remember, he can't do shit off ball. You're right. So he plays, so if basketball is 100%, right? We got to take out 50% of basketball because he doesn't play any defense at all. So he's 50%. And then Champy says we got to actually take out another 25% because he only plays half of all. Oh my God. This is so fucking pathetic.
Hey, I fuck with your boy. Fuck with your boy.
This is so fucking pathetic. Oh my God, this is fucking pathetic, bro. They traded Anthony Davis for a 25% player. How does Rob Pelinka have a job, bro? How does Rob Pelinka have a job, bro? This is insane, bro. This is malpractice at the highest degree. This is malpractice. This don't make no sense, bro. He traded for a 25% player. This nigga sucks, bro. This nigga sucks, bro. Oh my God, this shit is wild. This shit is fucking wild, bro. This nigga's traded for a 25% player. Nigga plays 25%. Oh, you can't make this shit up, bro. This is diabolical. This is diabolical. If the game of basketball is 100%, we got to take out 50% because he don't play defense. We got to take out 50 off top because he don't play defense. Then you got to take out another 25% because he can't play off ball. This is insane. He can play 25% of the sport, and then niggas got the audacity to talk about he's a top 3 player. Saying Luka is a top 3 player, that's the biggest casual take in going right now in the sport. That is the quickest way to identify a casual in 2026. If they say Luka is a top 3 player, they're a fucking casual. It's insane. How can you be a top 3 player and you play 25% of the sport? How? That's insane. Bro, that shit had me in tears, bro. That shit had me in tears just now, bro. I needed that laugh, bro. That was my best laugh of 2026 thus far, bro. That was hilarious. It's like when you actually say it out loud and you think about it, it's like, wow, bro, this is really fucking insane. Like, this is real life insane. I told y'all, bro, Nico and the Mavericks carried him. And you want to know how I know Nico and the Mavericks carried him? Because whenever we get to talking about the finals from a couple of years ago, you want to know what people say? They say Luka carried them to the finals, and they point to his numbers, right? But folks, isn't he giving you around the same numbers now? And the Lakers suck. So his numbers he's gonna get his number. He's gonna stat pad to get his numbers. He's gonna do that. So how is it he got his numbers in Dallas and they were in the finals, and he's getting his numbers with the Lakers, but the Lakers suck? What does that tell you? That tells you it wasn't because of him. It was because of everybody else around him. He gonna stat pad wherever he goes. He was stat padding in Dallas, and he's gonna stat pad here in LA. And in both places, you're not gonna win. Why? Because of him. That's the reality, folks. That is the reality, man. So like I said, folks, phone lines are open. I agree 1,000% with Robert Horry. I'm gonna run the clip again if you're just now tuning in. Let me run this clip one more time, folks. Shout out to Mr. Player Made for sending me this clip. This is what Robert Horry had to say about Luka Doncic.
What would you do if you're the Lakers in the offseason? What's the one thing that has to happen?
Of course they got to get some size. I think that's the biggest key. They got to get some size, and then they got to get some people behind that bench to grab JJ and say, "Yo, this ain't working." And I think a lot of times we look at the head coach and we blame him for some things, and we blame the players for things. But I always blame the assistant coaches, because assistant coaches need to have the coach's ear, and they see things that the head coach don't see sometimes, and like, "Yo, this ain't working. We need to do this and that." And I think that's the main key. I love the coaching staff that they have, but is JJ willing to listen to his staff and trust his staff? Because sometimes when you come in as a new coach, you say, "Oh, I got to do it my way. I got to do it this way because I'm the head coach. I need to do this." And I think sometimes it takes a village, instead of a guy saying, "Oh, I need to do this way because my head is on the line."
Yeah, but how should Luka take that? Hey, you're fat, you're overweight, and people now say this openly, as opposed to maybe somebody said it to him privately. And I don't know him, but I don't know what would motivate him, because it feels like people are embarrassing him by saying this.
Yeah, and it's so weird that people talk about his weight, but yet he's still giving people 30 points. I tell people, I don't care about his weight. You need to get him in the gym and teach him how to play defense. That's the thing, because you can give someone 40 points, but if you're giving up 35 on the other end, those 40 points don't mean anything.
Wait, you think that you could make Luka a good defensive player?
Yes, you can, because it's about wanting to. He's never had to, because he's always had people behind him to erase his mistakes. You think about now, there was no AD, no center, nobody erased his mistakes. In LA, he getting blown by. They're getting layups.
Yeah.
If you watch stretches of games where Luka just stayed in front because he's a big body, The defenders, the offensive players are bouncing off him. Just stay in front. And I think that is the key. And I think also he needs to want to play defense, because so many times he saves his energy for the offensive end. I tell people all the time, if you can move your feet and get past and blow by people, that means you have some fast twitch muscles. You can move pretty fast. So there's no reason you cannot play better defense on the other end. It's just, you just got to want to. And I think a lot of times he doesn't want to. He'd rather just point.
Well, folks, you guys just heard what Robert Horry said, man. You guys were ranting and raving about DeAndre Ayton over the summer. DeAndre Ayton can't, like he said, you don't have nobody that can erase Luka's mistakes. DeAndre Ayton doesn't want to erase Luka's mistakes. When Luka gets beat, DeAndre Ayton's not trying to help recover for Luka. So what's the excuse now? Because the excuse last year when you guys lost to Minnesota, oh, but we didn't have a center. Well, they got you a center. And you guys were just ranting and raving about him a month ago. You guys were just ranting and raving about DeAndre Ayton a month ago. So now what else do you need? You need the whole shebang, don't you? You need a perfect roster, don't you? Yeah, we know. Like I said, folks, the only way the Lakers are going to improve this ball club is if they trade Luka Doncic. Rob Pelinka needs to have a press conference. In all seriousness, he needs to have a press conference. He needs to publicly apologize to Laker fans for making this deal. He needs to admit that he got swindled in this deal. And he needs to promise us that he's going to do everything in his power to correct his mistakes. That will be the only way Rob Pelinka is going to save his job and save the Lakers. You have to admit you messed up by trading for Luka Doncic. If you're unwilling to do that, if you want to be stubborn and you're unwilling to admit it, then the Lakers aren't going anywhere. Look at the Russell Westbrook situation, folks. Look at the Russell Westbrook situation. How long was Russ with the Lakers? He came in 21 and he was gone by the top of 23. So he was with us for about a year and a half before we all was just like, this ain't gonna work. He was here for one full season. We brought him back the next season and we traded him at the trade deadline. He was here for 1 year and a half. What's the time frame we're coming up on with Luka? We're coming up on almost a year. Like I said, after this year, realistically, they should listen. I personally think they should trade him at the trade deadline, but I don't know if they're at that point yet. Maybe they want to give it a full season. I don't know. But that a full season this year will be a year and a half with Luka Doncic. Okay? This summer, if let's just say the Lakers don't make the playoffs or lose in the play-in or get clapped in the first round, folks, everything's got to be on the table at that point. Everything has to be on the table at that point. Everybody's expendable. And that includes Luka Doncic. We gave Russ 1 year and a half before we traded him. And we realized this ain't going to work. Why should Luka get any more time than Russ got? What has Luka done? Russ has an MVP. What has Luka done? He don't got no MVP. He don't got no championship. He don't got no finals MVP. What has he done to where he deserves all this time? No, you don't deserve all this time, dude. What Luka is doing right now, he's auditioning for the Lakers. He's auditioning. And the audition is going horribly bad, folks, if you ask me. If this is what we have to look forward to, I'm good on the Lakers' future. I'm good on it. I don't even care about the Lakers' future if this is what we have to look forward to. You'd be better off trading him for the. I would figure out who's gonna get the number 1 pick this year, and I trade his ass for the number 1 pick. And I go get that nigga from BYU. What's his name? AJ DeBonds, whatever the fuck his last name is. I'd go trade for that nigga from BYU or something. I'd go get somebody that's 18. We can mold him. We can train him up. We can grow with him. I go get somebody like that. Straight up. That's the only way Rob Pelinka could get his respect back as a general manager. Hold a public press conference, admit to Laker Nation that you got swindled by Nico Harrison, and you need to promise that you're gonna make this right. Like, let's keep it a buck, folks. The dude sucks. He's getting exposed, man. And then my thing is, people want to blame LeBron James. Oh, it's LeBron's fault. Ever since LeBron came back, the Lakers suck. No, ever since LeBron came back, now you're getting other teams' best shots. Now you're going to get the opposing team's best shot every game. Now that LeBron is back. Duh. See, when it was just Luka and Reeves out there, and y'all were playing the Pelicans every night, you were playing the Jazz every night, teams were taking it easy on you. LeBron wasn't out there. Now the GOAT is on the floor, and everybody wants to have a good game against the GOAT. So that's where we're at with it, folks. We got 444 on the line. 444, what's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
What you got, man? On Robert Horry calling out Luka
Oh,
Doncic.
100% agree. And I mean, he's just he's popular. So seeing the same things being said by individuals that are known is like important, you know. But it's nothing that we haven't said before. It's quite obvious. It's just that people choose to ignore it, not talk about it, because I know the NBA is a business, and you know, so it's like, you know, trying to protect the value of their product. Luka, I mean, you know, it's obvious. But I think the most interesting thing was the comment about the 25%. I think that was absolutely funny and spot on. So, you know, that is funny because that is exactly what he is, you know?
Now 444, just for the people that's tuning in that might not know what we're talking about. So I said earlier, folks, and we had Champ. He came through, Champy, with the $5 super chat. And he basically, I was saying how if the game of basketball is 100%, Luka, you got to take out 50% because he only plays one side of the ball. And then that's when Champy came in and said, actually, Luka plays half of one side. Remember, he can't do anything off ball. So that will go down to 25%. So that's what 444 is talking about. It was funny as hell to me, man. I was dying laughing at that, bro. That's just crazy, man. We traded for a 25% player. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a 25%er. That's exactly what he is.
He said he's a 20.
I'm being honest.
He said he's a 25%er. I mean, think about it. We traded one of the best two-way players, right? I would say AD is a top 5 two-way player. I would say Wembanyama, Bam, Kawhi. You know, those are guys that I consider, like Giannis, some of the best two-way players in the sport. But AD's in that class, in that tier. So you trade away one of the best two-way players in the sport for a guy that plays 25% of the sport.
Yeah, that's an eye opener.
I mean, it really makes you. Now, let me ask you on what you think about it, because I said that to me, the only way that Rob Pelinka could rectify this is to hold a public press conference and publicly admit that he made a mistake by trading for Luka. Maybe not say it like that, but like, I don't know. Like, to me, you this looks bad. I mean, like,
I don't think there's anything Rob can do because there's so many mistakes Rob has made. I think this is one of the bigger mistakes of many. But Rob is just a fuck up, man. So Rob just needs to go as well. There's nothing Rob can do. I mean, what has Rob done that has impressed anyone? Rob is like the master of just faking people out, man. The fans, he just fakes the fans out. And I mean, there's nothing he's done that we can be excited about. What? Like, it's all baloney. It's all phony, So Rob would just cook up his next fake me out, his next product that get everybody believing. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you too. I mean, over these past few games, I mean, Ayton is looking horrible, man, defensively. Like, I mean, he's returned back to what he's known to be. I mean, what has Rob done?
He once again
Rob has to go.
He can only sign players because nobody. This is what people don't want to talk about either. 444. It's the fact that when he was an agent, managing Kobe, he wasn't liked. That part of the story people don't want to discuss. He wasn't liked when he was an agent. So now that he's a GM, he's got bad relationships around the league. People don't like him. So that's why the Lakers are never gonna get anything good via a trade. So the only thing he can do is sign people that get bought out, people that nobody else want. That's the only thing he can get. I mean, I have the graphic on the screen. Robert's rejects. Luka, the Mavericks didn't want him. Reeves, nobody took him in the draft. DeAndre Ayton, Portland gave up on him. Jake LaRavia, I think he was in SAC. He was in Memphis. They gave up on him. Marcus Smart, Boston said no. The Wizards, Memphis gave up. So this is what he can sign. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well said. I mean, and there are nights where it looks like a bunch of rejects are on the court. There are nights where it looks like that. Led by the top reject, Luka Doncic. So, yeah, I have to agree with Mr. Horry, man. I'm just glad that. Go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna say we got DC Rue up here 444.
Yo, what's up?
Okay. What's going on?
What's going on, DC Rue?
What's good? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, man. My fault about that reg last time when I was on the show, but yeah, man. Like, I'm on the show today to basically say a lot of the things that you guys been saying. I've been looking at. I've been going back at a lot of games. I've been going back at the stats score after the games, and I've been looking at it. It's like, I came on the show before, and I was pretty much saying, like, I said some positive things about Luka, but it's just like, yeah, okay, you dropped 30, 40, 45 points. You got like 10, 11 assists, 10 rebounds, 5 rebounds, 8 rebounds, but it's like, on defense, you're horrible. So it doesn't make up for what you're doing on offense. And it's just, like, when you just look at the overall team and you just look at, supposedly they're saying that, Luka's the star of the team. It's just like, there's just a lot of people just talking about him negatively. And then it's just like, I looked at that photo that Reg put on about Luka the other day, and I'm looking at him, and I'm actually looking at him when they played Detroit, and I'm just like, did this guy gain weight or what's going on? Like, is he?
Yeah.
I had to look at that again, and I'm like, I was like, I don't think Reggie is actually like messing around with his photo. I don't think Reggie would do that. I'm like, let me look at this guy again, like, while he's actually like complaining to the refs or something like that. And I looked at him. The guy got like a double chin. He looks like he's not in shape. Yeah, he doesn't look good. He doesn't look like an athlete.
So, DC Rule, let me add on to what you're saying. We have to understand too that the NBA is a business and it's entertainment. So there's an element to this whole equation where it's all about getting the fans to buy in to things. And the only way that you do that is by constructing well-organized plans. So I honestly think because the bad press was Luka was out of shape. So anybody that understands protecting value, what do? Well, we need to get Luka into something really quick that's going to show that he has improved because we need the fans to believe that when we come out this season, we mean business. What else do? Let's give the Lakers the second easiest schedule to start. Okay? Because what is that going to do? That's going to make Luka and make, his sidekick even look super dynamic. We can even have talks about MVP runnings. We can even have talks about this is the best duo in the NBA. But if you're being logical, anyone saying that would be ridiculous because we haven't even played enough games to even know what we have. So why are we even making statements like that and we're only in 5 or 8 or 9 games playing, unfortunately, bum teams, right? So
But
now,
I'll be honest.
as the season
Yeah.
progresses, we start seeing the true Luka because Luka's returning to form. And what is that? He's an undisciplined individual that falls in love because the league allows him to do all of that, being completely offensive. And outside of that, he doesn't have to do no on-ball movement. He doesn't have to play defense. He is allowed to foul bait, when he wants, when they allow it, and we deal with it, He looks fat. He's starting to gain weight, bro. Like you said, I noticed that a few games ago.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm just gonna put it out there. LeBron doesn't want to play with Luka no more. Why I say that? You can see his body language.
I agree.
You can see the way he's moving up the court. You can see when he's moving, like when he's just standing, his body language. Like he does not want to play with Luka no more. That's why, like, there is a lot of controversy now. Like the other day, right before the new year came out, trade Jimmy Butler to the Lakers and put LeBron with the Warriors. What's this Bill there was a dude, he's a podcaster, Bill Simmons. He had he has a podcast, and he was like, why not? He was like, let's change the lead up a little bit. What's this guy's name? Brian Windhorst just had something on ESPN and basically said 2026 is going to change the league because it's all depending on what LeBron does. And I think it's true. It's like, look, man, when you look at it, when you look at the Lakers games, LeBron is not in tune. Like, he's not happy. He's not happy there. Why? Because he's a disaster.
Yeah, he's not happy because when you're having to rely on someone who has very low IQ, but this is supposed to be the leader of the team. And I tell people this, you can only take so much. I mean, I've played basketball on court with a bunch of rejects, and I'm like, I'm not interested. I can't wait to get on a team where people are competent. Luka, even some of those assists, there's many games where some of those stuff are they're grenades. He's throwing these balls. Other players are only allowed to touch the ball when he is absolutely has been cornered in and he has no choice, and he throws these time bombs, and people have to react. There's no flow to his game. It is so absolute. Listen, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Prior to him, the Lakers, I actually thought Luka was a lot better than I'm seeing because I didn't really watch him like that in Dallas. I saw moments and he always looked impressive, especially when he first came into the league. Lately, watching him on the Lakers, I understand why Dallas got rid of him, man.
And let me add to that 444, because if you remember, if some of you guys might not remember this, but those of us that are old enough to remember this. So when LeBron got to the finals in 2007, the game plan that Pop and them said was they were basically just going to go under all the screens and make LeBron James a jump shooter, right? So that was a weakness in LeBron's game that he had to obviously work on and get better at. So that was 2007. He comes back a couple years later, 2009, wins his first MVP. 2010, wins another MVP. Then 2011, losing the finals. He goes that summer, works out with Hakeem, starts working on his post game, comes back the next year. Now he's winning, championships. Wins another MVP, winning championships. Luka Luka's the only player where it's like the fans don't want to like hold him accountable and tell him that he needs to get better at the sport. Like you're not a perfect player, you know. Just because you can go get 30 by stat padding doesn't mean you've mastered the sport. I just saw a clip from KD. He was on a podcast with Fred VanVleet, and he brought up a point. He was like, I feel like he was like talking about LeBron. He was like, I feel like LeBron is just now mastering his game. Like where he's got everything, you know, he can do everything on the court basically. Got the 3-ball, got the post, got the mid-range, whatever, he can attack. So it's like with Luka, it's like, bro, we're not trying to just get on him just because he's white or whatever the case is. No. He's not improving his game. That's my biggest issue. You've already been traded. Like that should have been your wake-up call to like I said, him losing weight. If we had to put a list of Luka's problems, him losing weight would not be number 1 for me. That would have been like number 4 or number 5. There's way bigger issues than him losing weight. And it has to do with the sport of basketball. You know, him losing weight, that's one thing. But to me, there's just so many other flaws in his game where it's just like, bro, yeah, LeBron is completely checked out. I mean, you didn't give him a contract. I mean, I would be checked out too, playing with Luka Doncic. But go ahead, DC Rue.
Nah, what I was basically trying to say is just like I would never come on the show ever again talking about like Luka, like, you know, just in general. Like I really got to see how he plays. Like, you know, he's just, yeah, Luka have like 45 points and everybody else is like 4 points, 6 points, 8 points. And then it's when Luka goes on the bench and LeBron is actually the one controlling the offense, the game is being played differently. JJ sees that. The fans see it. Reeves sees it. Luka sees it because he's getting everybody involved. It's like, I'm like, wait a minute. Why we need Gabe Vincent? We got Nick Smith Jr. Why is this guy not in the game? Then I'm looking at Rui. I'm like, you know, Top Flat High was out here a couple of weeks ago last year, I think in December, saying like, oh, Rui's great. Rui's great. Like, look, people's been saying put Rui on the bench, bring him off the bench. People's been saying leave him in the starting lineup. I'm saying I don't understand why I don't understand why Rob Pelinka is not having a conversation with JJ, and then JJ's having a conversation with his staff and saying, how about if we switch things up? How about if we bring Rui off the bench? How about if we put in Vandal? How about if we put in Smart? Like, these are the things that we got to see. But the lineups are still the same. And then it's just like, for example, it's just like, with the whole Austin Reeves thing, it's just like, the guy got injured, and it's just like, okay, he sat out for like a week, and then you guys brought him back, and then he got re-injured again. So like, what's going on? Like, I'm not understanding this. So there's a lot to be talked about. I think Mark Walters, I think he needs to. Rob Pelinka is probably going to be fired by the end of the season. But I'm saying to myself, why should we wait until the end of the season? Why we can't do this now? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why there can't be a firing within February or March? You know, we're falling behind in the standings. We're falling behind if you look at it. Because when the season first started, everybody was on the Lakers, man. Oh yeah, the Lakers, we're doing really well. Look at our record. We're right under OKC. I mean,
yeah, we're
falling behind.
number 2. We're number 2 in the Western Conference, right under like OKC. You know,
right.
But the reality is we're playing mediocre teams.
We're not playing great teams. You see what happens. Look when San Antonio plays OKC. Honestly, to tell you the truth, San Antonio's the team to beat in the West so far. They beat OKC 2 times. I believe it was three times. Yeah. So it's just like, we can't even beat OKC. But yet again, we're talking about going to the Western Conference Finals. And then I go on Jason Timm's show. I heard one of his posts the other day. He's like, oh, well, LeBron is the issue. Then I go back on it a couple of days again. He's like, oh, well, JJ's the issue. And I'm just like, dude, who's the issue here? Because you're saying LeBron is the issue. Now you're saying JJ's the issue. Now you're saying his rotation's the issue. I think honestly,
they're getting instructions. These guys are pawns. You can look at his face and tell that he doesn't believe that. Like, here's the reality. Typically, you know when someone is logical. The guy's logical. Unfortunately, he's sold out.
Right.
You know, so when you see him talking, because I used to watch him, you know, he used to have a really objective perspective. Lately, you could tell he's bought out, and you can see it in his face that he doesn't even believe what he's saying. When they're having conversations and they're completely ignoring the defensive liability that Luka and Reeves bring, and how that impacts the game. They can break down all the stats, they can talk about this and that, but they ignore the obvious because they are thinking Laker fans are dumb. And a lot of Laker fans are completely into the fandom. They really truly believe you don't have to play defense. So it's the fake me out, the complete fake me out. They know LeBron isn't the issue. Because when LeBron decides to play ball, you see a complete different game. But how can you manage when you got a kid on the court that just wants to throw hand grenades, jack shots up? You know, he's shooting with 2 defenders on him from the corner. I mean, the stuff he does is like he's playing. He doesn't care. He's out there literally having fun.
Let me ask you, do you think this is worse than Russ? Like this stretch of basketball that he's playing right now, like do you think this is like on par with Russ?
Oh, for me, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I'm gonna go on a record and say this was the worst trade in NBA history. Because this shows that Reg has that I've been on with 444 and Top Fly High, and I've said, well, Anthony Davis is always injured. I'm gonna go on a record and I'm gonna say I actually disagree with myself, and I'm gonna say this was one of the worst trades that the Lakers could have done for Luka. I think if Mark Walters is running the team and Rob Pelinka is no longer there, and they're like, yeah, because Jeannie Buss, she's the governor of the Lakers, but she's pretty much on the side. She's nothing, pretty much. I think if they're running the team the way they're running the Dodgers, and they continue to keep on seeing this with Luka, because I don't think nothing's going to happen with Luka's game. I think they need to also trade Luka too, but I'm on the record and I'm going to basically say I think that was the worst trade that they could have done. I've actually went back and I've looked at film, I've looked at YouTube, and I've looked at a lot of the way he moves on the court, the way his tempo is with the game, the way he runs the offense, and the way he gets back on defense, and it's just horrible. Honestly, it's horrible, and I don't think nothing's gonna change. I mean, I understand what Robert Horry's saying, and I agree with Robert Horry, but I don't think nothing's gonna change with his game, and I also think that comes with the top. That's why when you look at everything, that's why Nico got fired, because Nico did the right move. He made the right move. He was watching the games when he was up there. Nico gave everything to Luka. He gave him all the tools he needs to be successful and win multiple championships, and he failed. He failed. That's why he gave up Luka. You're not going to – when you're that great on the court, on both ends of the court, when you're that great, no one's going to trade you. So
it's really the opposite of LeBron. Like with LeBron, when he was in Cleveland, they didn't give him nothing basically, which is why he had to leave. With Luka, they gave you Porzingis, Brunson, Kyrie. They traded for Gafford and drafted Lively, brought you PJ Washington too. So it's like they gave him all the tools, like you said, and then he still couldn't get the job done, which is why they had to ultimately get rid of him. We got Kev. What do you got on this, man? Did you hear Robert Horry's comments?
Yeah, I did. First off, what's up with all y'all? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year, bro.
Yes, sirski. But no, I think a lot of what you guys are saying is just hitting the nail on the head. And the ironic part is I'm really looking at Mark. And I mean, I'm not a GM, obviously. If I was, I might have something to do today. But the idea is just kind of like, if you really have a basketball mind, we're already talking about firing this guy, this Rob Pelinka guy, because I don't even know what he is. But you fire him, you can really set yourself up to create a new dynasty, because you're looking at it and you're saying, yo, listen, Rob, I don't know what the hell you did. We had a championship squad, you blew it up. Then you went and traded away our championship player for this guy who is now getting criticism. You guys are talking about, the optics of it, talking about the marketing of it. People want to show up to look at these players and all this kind of stuff. It's like, all right, no problem. Like you traded for this player, you thought he was going to be good, but now people are saying he doesn't play defense, and I'm looking at these games and he really isn't showing up like he's supposed to. Not like we assume he is. He's a superstar player, and then it's like, yo, you fire Rob, and you get a new GM, and you be like, yo, listen, go and find a trade partner for Luka and get us something. If it's draft picks, if it's a bunch of proper players, just set it up so that in a couple of years we can actually set up a squad and do something. Because as we're talking about, yo, Luka is on the decline at 27. If anybody thinks that at 30 years old, Luka Doncic is going to suddenly learn how to play basketball, you're delusional. You're delusional. It's
Yeah,
unfortunate, but yeah.
he's definitely on the decline. And the other thing about it is, look, the more the story is, they need to break up the whole team. They need to just figure out moving forward. They need to build the team the way they built the Dodgers. That's why the Dodgers are so successful. That organization is successful because they got the right people on the right team to build that franchise, and that's why they keep on going back to the World Series.
Let me throw this in there though, DC Rue. My thing is this, right? And I've talked about like playing for Lakers. It exposes you because you're playing on the biggest stage, and not only are you playing on the biggest stage, you're also playing with LeBron. So if you play with LeBron, and we've seen it with D Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie, AD. If you can actually play and you team up with LeBron, you're going to win a title. The one guy so far that we saw that it didn't work with was Russ. And Russ's career hasn't been the same since. His career basically took a nosedive. Now we're seeing it again with Luka. So my thing is, I think you got to trade him sooner than later, because if you wait, nobody will. I think if you wait another year and you allow people to catch up and start to really see what Nico saw, I don't think you're going to be able to really get much for him at a certain point. So I think you got to go ahead and just and pull the trigger now while you can still trick another team into believing he's a good player.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Reg. They're looking at that right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next general manager is Magic Irvin Johnson, because him and Mark Walters are great friends. And the more the story is, people want to say like, oh, it's Luka's team. No, that's LeBron's team. When has LeBron been a second fiddle in his career? The answer is never. He's never been a second fiddle, nowhere. Not on Miami, not in Cleveland. He's never been a second fiddle. So when we look at this whole situation, yes, it's just disgusting, to be honest with you. Listen, man, I'll take Jalen Brunson over Luka. I'll take Kate Cunningham over Luka. Dude, obviously I'm taking Giannis. Dude, I'm taking the porter that cleans the bathrooms in crypto. I'm taking him over Luka. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting. It's just like we're looking at this man and we're actually seeing his game. I came on the show and Reg was telling me like, DC Rule, you got to do your homework. You can't come on a show and start yapping your mouth and you're not looking at your homework. You're not doing your homework because it's right in front of your face. You're not watching the games. And I was arguing with Reg, and I was telling him, well, I am watching. He was like, you're watching the games, but you're not studying the games. And you're coming on my show and you're just yapping your mouth. Go watch the games and then come back to me and see what I'm seeing that everybody else is seeing about Luka. I'm talking about Luka, the star of the Lakers. And I did that. And that's why I'm on the show today. And I'm saying, yeah, Reg, I will never come back on the show and give high praises to Luka because he's a bum. He's trash. Because when you play in the NBA, you gotta play both sides of the ball. And if you're not playing both sides of the ball, then I can't expect LeBron to play both sides of the ball. So that's why when you got guys like you got guys like Ticket TV, and you guys got Dweebers Pro that goes on their platform, and they're like, oh, well, LeBron should be playing both sides of the ball. What? Why? Here's the thing. That's why you think LeBron plays like Do you guys notice it? Because I've noticed this the other day. LeBron, obviously he starts the game. LeBron would play probably like 7 to 8 minutes, 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes at max. I would say between 6 to 8, and he's already coming out the game. And he's sitting, he's watching a game, and it's just like, that's what I'm saying. I don't think LeBron is not happy. He's not happy to play with Luka.
This is
He's
my
not
thing.
happy.
Not to cut you off, but this is my thing with Luka, right? Because this is when everything really became crystal clear to me on Christmas. Because I was sitting and I watched all those games. I watched Cavs, Knicks, Thunder, Spurs, Warriors, Mavericks, Lakers, Rockets, and then I watched Timberwolves, Nuggets. In that last game against the Nuggets, Anthony Edwards hits a corner three to send the game into overtime. Timberwolves start the game on a 9. They start overtime on a 9-0 run. Nikola Jokic, who is the front runner for MVP, him and Jamal Murray them two literally willed the Nuggets to a win without like a couple of their starters. To me, that was a signature win. That was an MVP performance. And it got me thinking of Luka. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, we haven't had I can't think of one signature performance that Luka has had this season where we needed him to be at his very best late in a ball game, and he came through for us. There isn't one game you can point to. There isn't one this entire season. He's not clutch at all. He's a front-running fraud. He can only front run. If he can get the lead on you, he can pile on. But if you notice, whenever we get down 15-20, that game's over. You're not winning that game. You're not winning that game. So to me, like I said, it's just bad, bro, because, and like I put on the community tab yesterday, getting traded to the Lakers, he would have been better off going to another small market team, and they would have probably appreciated him more because they can't get anybody. That's why Portland loves Dame so much. That's all they can get is Dame. So that's why they love Dame. That's why they loved him in Dallas. That's all they were gonna get. They weren't gonna get a marquee guy in Dallas. So it's like when he came to a big market like the Lakers, that was based that hurt his brand, that hurt his career, because you're just not that guy, and you're playing on a big stage every single night, where it's basically the playoffs every night. So it's just all bad right now for
I got a
All
question.
right.
My question is,
Oh,
Reggie,
before y'all go,
do you think?
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, do you guys think that JJ Redick knows what he's doing?
No, he don't.
With the coaching staff that he has, because the coaching staff that he has, some of these coaches, they've been coaches in the NBA, and they have more experience than JJ Redick. Because when I look at JJ Redick and I study him, it seems like he's a real intellectual, smart guy. But when you're being a coach, and I get it, I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that he has the greatest bench and he has the complete package in the team. But I just analyze him. I'm just like, do you actually know what you're doing?
But see, here's the thing, though, DC Rue. Here's the thing, though, DC Rue. Being a great coach, like if you look at like coaches that have won Coach of the Year, a lot of the time the coach that wins the Coach of the Year doesn't have the best roster, which is why he ends up winning Coach of the Year, because he's able to get the most out of a team that isn't necessarily that good. With what I've noticed with the Lakers and with JJ, with Luka, with Reeves, right? We have to make everything perfect for them. We can never get the most out of those guys unless they have the perfect situation. No, this is the real in real life. Every situation is not going to be ideal. Can you still go win games with a less than ideal situation? And he's showing you he can't.
Reg, to that, I would say, it's not even only that he can't coach. I feel like, you know, you look at Steve Jackson or Phil Jackson, sorry. You look at Phil Jackson, you look at, you know, all of these other great coaches. And the thing is, they let their greatness allow them to become the quote unquote personality that they are. But JJ's trying to play this political game where, you know, you see that these lineups are not working. How long did he sit Vandal for? It was like 3 weeks or some shit like that. And then all of a sudden, oh, I'm gonna play Vandal, yeah, or whatever. It's like if you're really the head coach, not the assistant coach, you're the head coach. You should know your lineups before the season even starts. Who are your players? When can they be put in? When can they play? Can I sub you in for 5 minutes? Can you be a value player for 5 minutes? Let my guys get a minute on the bench. But he wants to play this political game where it's like, you know, we got Luka and I'm gonna support Luka, and we got Reeves and he's gonna be what, an all-star this year, and we're gonna get him $100 million contract. He wants to play that game. And unfortunately, playing that game, you can't be a good coach at the same time, because a good coach will say, all right, Luka, you don't want to play defense? Fuck it. I don't need to talk to you. Sit on the bench. See, I watch a little bit of soccer, right? And the thing is, everyone knows Zlatan Ibrahimovic because he gave that headbutt in the World Series or whatever, because that guy was talking shit about whatever. But the idea is, his coach, when he was playing like regular season, his coach didn't fuck with him. He's just like, I don't care if you're a good player. Sit on the bench. And everyone else is going to play, and you can watch them play. And if you decide to come in and play the way that I want you to play, the way that is going to be a winning type of like value on the field, then yeah, you can come play. But if you're not going to do that, I don't care if we're going to pay you $50 million. The head office gave me the choice to be the head coach. And as a head coach, I don't see value in playing you. But JG can't see that. He's like, nah, I got to play Luka. Got to play Luka. Like, come on. Like, I got to play Luka. Got to play Reeves. Get the hell out of here, bro. Like, and then you have someone like LeBron on the bench, or not on the bench, but you have someone like on the LeBron on the sideline. LeBron has a better basketball IQ than you do, and you won't even sit down with him and be like, yo, what's a good lineup? How can you play together? Because it's like, you know, I'm the coach. I know what to do. LeBron is smarter than your whole head coaching staff.
Well,
sorry.
Yeah, well, that's why I started to cut you off. But that's why people now are sitting here and saying, well, wait a minute. Why is Rich Paul having a podcast with Max Kellerman? He's a sports agent. He's LeBron's agent. Why? When have we ever had an agent go on a podcast or on live national television and speak his mind about the lead and how a coach should be operating his team and how ownership? The more the story is this: people gotta. Rich Paul's not only an agent, he's actually LeBron's agent. And not only that, like, Rich Paul is a really smart, intelligent guy. When this is all said and done, LeBron knows the starting five is not. Listen, LeBron knows that Luka's just bouncing the air. He's beating the air out of the ball, you know, for 4 quarters. He knows it. He knows the season's that, you know, it's probably the season's done. Put it like that. He knows this already. And what I'm trying to basically say is just that it doesn't take a rocket science to know what's actually going on. You know, like, you know, the guy JJ doesn't have a clue on what's going on. He doesn't have a winning pedigree. That the mindset is just not there.
Let me say something real quick, DC. Can I interject real quick?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I was just
Go ahead.
basically saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my fault. Go ahead, bro.
As far as the coaching wise, maybe real quick. One thing I don't see JJ do though, I don't see him involve his assistant coaches. Like, if you really look at some of the games, the assistant coaches are like, they're almost tuned out as well. Like, I don't see him involving his assistant coaches too much. And I think that's also speaks to JJ Redick. That speaks to JJ Redick as well. You know what I mean? I think he has a very big ego. And I think that is that's just what it is, man. It's his ego, bro. He has a big ego.
Yeah.
It was those Pat Riley comments 444. He internalized it, and now he's really in his mind. He thinks like he's like a Pat Riley type of a coach, but
and here's the other thing too. They don't want the same. Okay, well, prior to Luka getting traded, him and J Kidd, they had an issue with each other. That was the rumor. Like they were not they were not 100% on the same page. So JJ knows that already. So, but here's the thing: when you're a coach, I don't care who you are. You could be LeBron, you could be Michael, you could be Karl Malone. Doesn't Patrick Ewing? Doesn't matter. I gotta hold you accountable. It's like when Greg Popovich was coaching Tony, Mano, David Robinson, Bruce Bowen, and Tim Duncan. They were in the game. I think they were playing. I think they were playing somebody, and the first 2 minutes they were not following what they were practicing in practice. He took the whole starting five out and put them on a bench and put in the bench players to start the game. And he was like, "Yeah, that's not what we ran. It's holding people accountable. JJ's not doing that. He's not holding nobody accountable. He's saying he is, but he's not really holding nobody accountable. He's not. LeBron is tired. Reeves needs to get traded. Luka needs to get traded. I think something needs to happen. I think something is gonna happen, but something needs to happen. I hope it happens today, to be quite honest with you. But it's a disaster. When you look at it, it's a disaster. I'll take pretty much anybody that is in the top. I don't even think Luka's even in the top 5. Like, for me, that's my personal opinion. Anybody, I would take Jalen Brunson. I would take Jalen Brunson right now over Luka.
Yeah, I do got to run, fellas. Kev, you guys got any final thoughts?
Yeah. Reg, obviously the number one thing, and as you're saying, this December game, not December, this Christmas game really solidified it for you. And for me, it's always been like that first year that Luka came in, because everyone was talking about, like, he's so good, he's so this, he's so that. And I noticed that it's with JJ, it's with Luka, and it's with Reeves. They want to show up as they are and be good enough. And I was going to say before I finish my point, number one, I really appreciate you for showing out and talking that shit, because no one else is talking that shit. And when it comes down to it, you see these 3 players, well, the 2 players and the coach, it's like none of them have that mentality to push themselves past where they're at. They're like, yo, I'm good as I am. I'm going to double down on it. If Luka even played off ball, he would be a hell of a player. He don't even do that. Cut Luka, play the pick and roll Luka. Nah, as you said, dribble the ball. So I appreciate you, Reg. I appreciate that. So that's what's up. Y'all stay safe, huh?
All right, bro. Appreciate you, bro. 444. Final thoughts, man. Good call.
Yeah. I agree with everybody, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, Reg. Good stuff, bro. I'll catch you on the next one.
All right, 444. Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Yeah, shout out to DC Rue, 444, and Kev, man. Good call. Good call, folks. But yeah, that's really all I got on this one, folks. You guys heard what Robert Horry said, man. Luka's a fraud, man. He's overrated. And like I said, at this point, Rob Pelinka owes everybody an apology. He owes LeBron James a public apology for even thinking that you can build a team around Luka Doncic for your future. That's just insane. That's an insane thing to think. And if you believe that, you obviously don't watch basketball. Watching Luka over this last 10 months, folks, I'm good off this dude, man. I'm good, man. I don't want to see this for another year or 2. I'm good. So we need to go ahead and just start talking trades and getting this dude out of here. You go to the mayonnaise media, folks. These niggas talking about trading for Herb Jones and Keon Ellis. Nah, we need to trade Luka. That's who we need to trade. We need to call Dallas back and say, yo, what y'all want for AD? Y'all want Luka back? Y'all can have him. That's what we need to be discussing. Not no goddamn Herb Jones and Keon Ellis. That's insane. So yeah, that's all I got, folks, on this one. We got some action tonight, though. I think the Lakers take on Memphis tonight. So I'll be back later tonight. We'll discuss that game, and then we'll obviously do a post-game show. So, yeah, I will catch you guys a little bit later. Y'all stay tuned, man. But, yeah, that's all I got on this one. This was another installment of The Locker Room. Peace.